Now, the total stress at any point on the cross section will be given as sigma is equal to algebraic sum of addition of direct stress plus bending stress. Since both the direct stress and bending stress are longitudinal stresses, we can add it. Now since sigma d, which is direct stress, is uniform over the cross section, but bending stress varies and is maximum at the extreme layer, we consider extreme points of the cross section. So let point A, point B, point C and point D be the four vertices. We'll try to calculate the value of total stress sigma at these 4 points. Our sign convention is compressive stresses are taken as positive and tensile stresses are taken as negative. Now we see that due to the axial compressive load P, there will be uniform compressive stress developed at all the 4 points, whereas due to bending of the cross section about the centroidal XX axis, we'll have at point A and B compressive stress will be developed, whereas at the point C and D tensile stresses will be developed. So if we consider total stress at point A, we will have compressive stress, which is positive, plus bending stress, which is sigma max of compressive, and this is also positive, plus sigma max of compression, which is due to bending about XX axis. Similarly, the stress at point B will be same, compressive stress sigma C plus sigma max of compression about XX axis. Now if you consider point C, the total stress at point C will be compressive stress minus of sigma max of T about XX axis. Same will be the case with point D. Total stress at point D is equal to sigma C minus of sigma max of T about XX. Now again consider the same rectangular cross section column. Now if the same compressive load P acts at point O double dash as shown in the figure, which is on centroidal XX axis, but at some eccentric distance EY as shown in the figure from the centroidal YY axis. Now the effect of this load P on this cross section will be to produce a uniform compressive stress sigma C as usual, whereas it will also cause the column to bend about the centroidal YY axis, whose bending moment MYY will be given as P into eccentric distance EY. So on the similar lines, the stresses developed due to this load P will be first your direct stress, which will again be your compressive stress sigma C, which is P by A. Second, your bending stress sigma B, which will be given by MYY upon IYY into X. Now due to bending of the column about your centroidal YY axis, your centroidal YY axis becomes a neutral axis. So this side will be subjected to compression, whereas this side will be subjected to tension as shown in the figure, and this extreme distance will be your X max of compression and this extreme distance will be your X max of tension. Now due to symmetry of the rectangular cross section, your X max of tension is same as that of X max of compression. So on the compression side, we'll have sigma max of compression is equal to MYY by IYY into X max of compression, whereas on the tension side, we'll have sigma max of tension is equal to MYY upon IYY into X max of tension. Now due to symmetry of the cross section, sigma max of compression is equal to sigma max of tension.